Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Good Morning Arkansas. Now, you can see that I'm actually in a different spot today. I'm in my home office, but that doesn't mean we're going to have any less wonderful content. In fact, my home office Zoom call we're on today is joined by Gary Green. Of course, the law offices of Gary Green, you may have heard the name, and he's this morning going to give us an update on some of the mass tort cases that you might be familiar with, might not be, but either way, we're going to tell you a little bit about those cases that he's working on. So Gary, thank you for joining us. Before we get started, can you just tell the viewers at home what is a mass tort case and maybe define what litigation is before we jump into things?
Okay, hi Victoria. Mass tort cases, that's a general term for any time you've got more than one party claiming about a product or something that's wrong. Probably most people tend to think of class action cases more, but the mass torts also include what we lawyers call multi-district litigations.
Mm-hmm.
And a class action case, generally you think of the trial being one trial that covers everybody at one time. A multi-district litigation, you retain your individual trial for each individual party, but the cases are combined for a lot of discovery processes, for a lot of things that there's judicial economy in looking at them together and then letting the cases go to trial one at a time.
Absolutely. That's very interesting. So we have a few cases that you wanted to bring some updates for us here today. Can you tell us what those cases are and maybe even jump straight into that first one?
Sure. The one that perplexes me the most is Roundup. And why I want to mention it to people is that there are deadlines coming up. Some of the multi-district litigation cases that I'm involved in have deadlines as early as tomorrow.
Wow.
And I know personally that we as consumers receive all the time in the mail these notices for class actions, notices for mass tort type cases. And you read the 10-page letters, and then you read the 20-page addendum, and then you figure out that it's just not worth your time to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
I've thrown those in the trash myself many times.
Right.
The ones I want to talk about today are real deals. And I want people who are affected to know that they are. And I want people who are affected to know that there are deadlines. And there are instances of scores of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars being paid on these claims. So if you qualify, don't throw it in the trash can.
Absolutely. So I know you said the Roundup one kind of perplexes you, but one that really interests me is, the earplugs one. Workers use earplugs. All sorts of people have those in different circumstances. Tell us about these 3M earplugs. What are you working on?
Okay, that's one of my favorites because it's one of the easiest because it's representing service people. And everybody loves Raymond and everybody loves servicemen and women. So we're going to win those cases. It involves people in the military from, I think it's around the year 2003 to 2015. And all they've got to do to qualify is to be able to prove usage. And the military proves that for you.
Yeah.
When you go into the military, you have a physical. When you leave the military, you have a physical. So you've got to show that you've got a hearing loss or tinnitus. And you've got to attest that you use the earplugs, the little cylinder-looking green and yellow earplugs. So they're relatively easy cases. There are a lot of people who qualify, and they are just lawyers can never guarantee anything. But of the 5 cases we're going to talk about today, of the 5 cases we're going to talk about today, those are the easiest ones to work.
Absolutely. So the earplugs are an easier one. Maybe tell about some more complex ones. Do we have Zantac, a more complex one there?
It's very much so. And it's more complex because a year ago, I was looking at the cases because I knew that they cause kidney damage.
Wow.
They're PPI inhibitors. They and other drugs in that class were known for causing kidney damage. But more recently, and much more importantly, they have found that the drug, when it's introduced with water, reduces to ratitidine, and which makes NDMA. Now, let me digress for just a moment about NDMA. Let's say that you had the need to conduct laboratory experiments and you wanted to get 30 white rats to develop cancers so that you could give them a new drug to see if the new drug would cure the cancer. What would you give them to make them get cancer in a hurry? NDMA.
Wow.
It's a very serious carcinogen. It is, I don't think that there's going to be a fix for Zantac. You know, a lot of times they can back up and do something differently. I don't think there's going to be a fix. I had some in my doc kit. I assure you that there are people listening who have some in their medicine cabinets. It needs to be thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
Causes the NDMA causes digestive tract cancers. If you've had a cancer anywhere from the esophagus to the large intestine, and you have been a Zantac user for over a year, you would qualify for the multi-district litigation.
Wow. And of course, we just want the viewers at home to make sure that they're staying as safe as possible, which is why we're providing these updates. Now,
and that was Victoria with Gary Green. Thank you so much. Now here's a look